What's going on, guys? Hope everyone is having a good day. I am out doing a few things. I got a vest on just because I had to do something by a construction site. But regardless, I wanted to show you a couple little things for orbiting an object, whether it's a job, whether it's a water tower, like I'm going to use in this example. Water towers are always really good to practice with because they're big and they're water tower-ish shape, and just an easy thing to try to get centered for practicing your orbits. This isn't going to be necessarily an orbit video. This is going to be more about using point of interest, which is a program flight mode on the Fly app, but also whenever you're on a job or doing anything that really matters, fly it manually because that is always going to be your best bet. But also the point of interest seems to do a pretty good job. So let's go ahead and get the drone powered up. I'll do a screen recording. It's going to be a short and sweet little video. We got the RCN1. We have the Mavic 3. We got a full battery. We have an ND8 filter on. I'm not super concerned, but just so you know, I shoot 4K, 60 frames per second. So that means my shutter speed should be 1/20th of a second. So it's a sunny day going in and out of clouds. I was doing some stuff where it was in shadow. So the 8 is going to be fine. Worst case scenario, we got to up the shutter speed, but I'm not going to be too concerned with that. But just so you know, I preferably shoot 4K 60 and we keep the frame rate, or the shutter speed, I should say, at 1/20th of a second. So let's power this guy on and just get into it. The vest is not necessary, but it is helpful to set yourself apart. This is an old vest and it says FAA licensed drone pilot, please do not disturb. Really what we are certificated drone pilots. So we're FAA certificated Part 107 remote drone pilot.
Approached edge of altitude.
We don't have licenses and we don't have certificates.
Home point
We're just
updated.
issued them. So that's the correct thing you want to say. I know it sounds dorky, certificated, but that technically is what you are as a 107 certificated pilot. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and launch the drone. Okay, we're making sure we got the screen recording. We are. We're going to launch from this guy, from the car.
Take off.
Zoom. I'm going to take off my glasses. I'm going to set it into auto mode really quickly. And I am turned the opposite way. So one of the things you want to do is be in a good area to fly from. That's a really key, important thing as a pilot. That's why a lot of people don't even understand that. These are all the nuances that make you an experienced drone pilot. Because if you don't fly somewhere where you can have peace and kind of chill little zone where you got a good visual on your drone and on the subject that you're flying, it really is, you know, a big part of this whole thing. So let me go ahead and get to where I want to be. I'm in sport mode right now, but water tower footage with the city, if you're doing a job or doing anything, it's nice B-roll footage, or it can even be a primary shot to enter into a video. But let's go ahead and just get something. I'm going to put it in cine mode for an orbit. And as you can see, a lot of times I'll just rest my thumb here, either way, and I'll just control and pinch the other stick. So that, to me, is a little bit easier way to do in manual orbit. So let's go ahead and try that right now and see what happens. Right now I'm in manual focus. I'll put it in autofocus, depress the little water tower to get focus on that. And I am going to slowly keep all the little crosshairs centered, and you kind of get into a motion, and then you just start your orbit and you kind of just feel it. You get into a little groove and you try to rock it out. Seems pretty good. I'm kind of keeping that little crosshair right in that little E. I don't know if I like that, but anyway, it's a much tougher when you're talking it through. But so you know, we can go ahead and try the point of interest. This is kind of what the video was going to be about. Let's see how all that works. I'm going to draw a bounding box around the water tower and I'm going to hit POI. There we go. And I want to go in the opposite direction. I want to go left and I don't want to go fast. So I'm going to go over here, hit slow, start recording, and see what it does. And all you need is a few seconds. So 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000. Not perfect to me, but we're going to stop that and try again. So let me go ahead and X out of that little green thing, draw another little bounding box, hit the start button to record, hit POI. This time we're going to go right, and let's see what happens and how well it does. This is why I don't like these automated modes. So even though that kind of went out and it went to that little green box, it's holding a pretty good line. And if we needed, say, a little quick intro shot, I'd probably want more of the L-burn lettering to be there, but like 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, yeah, I probably want the whole L-burn word. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, and kind of good enough, you know? So it does work, but at the same time, let's go ahead and try, get X out of this, and just do a manual orbit. Let me see where the light is. And I am just gonna go ahead and do this manually. So I'm keeping that crosshair. As you see, the little pointer is what I'm trying to focus on. So that's gonna be right at that first line of the N, for example. Let me go ahead and hit start. And I'm gonna kind of try to find my groove. And okay, there we go. But sometimes it's just going to dance around and you just want to kind of keep it centered and it will still look good. We can see what happens when we get a little bit more backlit. Like that's a nice shot. Just for a little quick, simple thing. And really, that's about it. When you're doing any kind of orbit, let me walk into the shade. Sometimes staying in the shade too is a good thing because you're not frying in the sun and you could also see your display better. So, little tip, if that's not obvious for people. But so let's go ahead and fly again. I'm just focusing on keeping the water tower centered. There was a little blip in my stick movement, but I don't know what side I like best based on the light. I can see the drone, so I got visual line of sight on the drone. And sometimes it even helps if you bring a lawn chair or something to sit down, because honestly, I like sitting and being relaxed when I fly. It just is that much better because you can really kind of get into it, almost like a video game or something. So right now I'm going to go ahead and get this movement, start recording. And that's all I need. You can see my car down below. I'm in a cemetery. And this shows a little bit about the town. There's a little strip mall kind of thing. So this is a nice shot. You can maybe speed ramp this, just use a few seconds of it and call it a day. But now what we can do too, we have a Mavic 3 Pro, which means we have different lenses. I'm not going to use the 7, that's a little much. But I can do the 3 time, which is a 70 mil equivalent, and I can go a little lower. So let me go lower and see. And maybe do something like that, right? So that's kind of cool. I'm overexposed. If you see my exposure compensation, it says 0.7. So I should have a little stronger filter, but what I'm going to do is just up my shutter speed and keep it around 200th of a second. We'll still be fine. I'm shooting 4K 60. And now let's go ahead and get a little clip. See what happens when you isolate your subject? Really kind of cool little parallax or whatever you want to say. But that's the shot to me. So get creative with your lens options. I'm praying there's a Mavic 4 Pro happening soon because I absolutely adore the Mavic 3 Pro. Hands down, the best drone out there, in my opinion, for doing cinematic work with ease and just having a really versatile drone. So let's go ahead and go the opposite way. You try to cover your bases always, because you just don't know what will look better. I can even maybe roll my camera up or down, do a little 3-axis movement. I don't know if I need to. Just ever slightly roll it down. 1/1000, 2/1000, something like that. But I'm hoping this helps. Let's go ahead and try one more thing. Let's go and see what this does with the 3-time lens. I'm going to hit POI, and let's go in the opposite direction. I'm going to go, start recording, and let's see how well it does. Because sometimes it does a really nice job, actually, and sometimes it doesn't. So that little blip of the movement stunk, but it re-locked into the water tower, and now we have this. So we have options, right? Options are always a good thing when getting footage, especially if it's a job or something. But I personally like what I was doing manually better. So let's get out of there. We can try one more time. Let's try and give the point of interest. People really think this is the best thing, but personally, manual flying and knowing how to fly well with the maneuvers is always going to be the go-to. So 1/1000, 2/1000, oh, see? And then it just kind of messes up. So 1/1000, 2/1000, 3/1000. That's not a bad shot. It's off center, which is totally fine in a composition manner. And we got that. So not bad, not what I expected. So if I wanted to keep it centered, I'm going to X out of there and I'm going to do it manually. So let's go ahead one more time. And I'm in cine mode to get the slowest movement, mind you. And I'm just going to go ahead and this is manual, mind you. I don't know why the top's cutting off a little bit. We're going to redo that again. So let's go ahead and try one more time. And that's one other thing too. You can't just nail the shot always. If you're not getting what you want, keep flying the movement until you nail it, or at least lock it in a better way. Don't give up. Keep shooting, keep practicing, and it will help you out become a better pilot. Let's see how it looks if I keep circling. 1/1000, 2/1000, 3/1000, 4/1000. I mean, pretty cool, right? So that's my tutorial. You can play around with the point of interest. Personally, like, let's go fast in the opposite direction and just see what happens. So fast, boom, messes up. It just doesn't do well. For me, at least. I don't know. I know I've seen people where they had good results, but for me, manual is always going to be the best answer. So that's pretty much it. Short little sweet video. Practice how to orbit. Whoop, there we go. Aloha, guys. And subscribe if you haven't. Practice manual stuff all the time in regards to flying. And that's it. Point of interest versus manual. I think manual always wins, but cover your bases and there we go. And shoot both, because it's not a big deal if you have to delete a few little files. And that's it, guys. Aloha. Peace. Bye.